Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a reselling video for you guys. For those of you who like my reselling content, this one's for you. If you prefer the beauty stuff, don't worry, I have a lot more coming. I'm super excited to be filming both of these topics with you guys. I've just been having so much fun being back. I feel like myself again, you guys. It's great. So anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Lisa. I am a mother of 4. I'm also a full-time reseller, and I have a passion for beauty, all things beauty. And I've been here on YouTube for over 10 years, you guys, a long time. So today's video, I wanted to talk about my reselling business. Specifically, I wanted to talk about some things that I've kind of taken a step back. If you've been following me on my journey, especially recently, then you'll know this. I have really been reevaluating my life, and I've been reevaluating my behavior and my routines and everything, just breaking it all down and trying to figure out what is working for me, what is not working for me. And I've recently been doing this in my reselling business as well. So there was a period after my last daughter was born, really up into the point where I left my second marriage, where I was really struggling just to get by, you guys. So day-to-day living became so difficult for me, and I was so overwhelmed with the amount of responsibilities that I had to cut corners on a lot of things. And some of that manifested in me not taking care of myself. I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped doing all the things that I used to enjoy doing for myself. And then I also had to cut back on my quality of my work because I just couldn't keep up and maintain all the responsibility that I had. Something had to give. And for me, it was a lot of things had to give because it was way too much on my plate for one person to handle. And I was trying to get through it as best as I could. So only the necessities were getting done. And that really affected my business in a negative way. And even though it did have a negative impact on my business, I was able to keep maintaining and keep the business growing, but not growing the way that I wanted it to. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about some of the things that I have gotten a little lax on in my business that I have realized I have been doing, and I'm ready to refocus and start building some better, healthier habits for my business. All right, so I hope that kind of sets the stage and you guys understand where I'm coming from with this video. So some of the things that I do as a reseller, if you're not a reseller, you might not understand, but all you resellers out there, you'll get this. Let's start this from the beginning of the process. So when you're outsourcing and you're picking up products for your business, you really have to take your time. You have to look through the products, check for damages. You want to check, obviously for stains, working zippers, holes, all of those things. You want to check the products over really, really well. You really need to think about how much you're paying for an item and how much you're going to be able to get from that item. Check comps if you're not familiar with the comps on a particular item. There's a lot into the process in the store where you're purchasing it or at the garage sale, wherever you're at. And I feel like for a while, because my time was so restricted, I was rushing that process because I needed to get as much as I could, as quickly as I could, especially at the bins. I would just throw it as like, oh, it's a brand I know. I'm just going to throw it in my cart. And I ended up bringing home a lot of either flawed items or things that were maybe not the right style, or shoes that were probably more damaged than I wanted or too dirty and I didn't feel like cleaning them. So I ended up making a lot of purchasing mistakes because I was just trying to go quickly. Again, it was a little bit out of necessity. Sometimes I'd be shopping with my youngest and I'd be really distracted, or there were times where it's like I knew I needed to be home really fast to take over, the care of my children. And so I'd be speeding through it. And there was this constant pressure of do this quickly. And so I have realized that I really need to slow down that initial step and take my time, make sure I'm checking comps on new items, make sure I'm checking for quality control, and really thinking about prices. If a price, especially now that the prices are so much higher at my thrift stores, I really need to factor in the cost of goods and whether or not it's worth picking up. So that's the first thing that I realized I had started doing out of necessity. It was just because I did not have enough time to source the amount of products that I was trying to list. And so out of necessity, it was just like, I have to get as much as I can as quickly as I can. And that led to a lot of flawed items ending up in my space. And that actually wastes so much of my time, because I would get home, hang up the item, realize there was a stain, take the item off the hanger, put it in my to be washed and treated pile. And then that would sit there for a while, which would clutter up my space and make me feel kind of, when you have a cluttered space, you don't feel as good at work and you're not as focused and clear. So it'd be cluttering up my space. Then I'd finally get around to laundering it. I'd stain treat it or wash it, whatever it needed, bring it back in, hang it up again, realize the stain's still there, might try to treat it again, depending on if I feel like it has the value to do that, or I might end up just donating it at that point. But all that time wasted on that product or that piece of inventory was really taking time away from the rest of my business. And then I was ending up with an inferior product in the end. So that is something I am really going to be focusing on, is taking my time in the store, making sure that I'm really checking things over and being honest with myself about whether or not it has enough value to pick up if there is a flaw or if the shoes are dirty, things like that. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I feel like I have let go in my business that has made my business not as successful or not at the level that I'm proud of was I stopped taking measurements and I stopped answering questions about measurements. So the issue here is, okay, so I have 4,500 items in my inventory, 4,500 items, actually probably more than that right now. And I was listing, I kind of have gone up and down with my listings, but for a long time, I've been listing 10 items every single day, 7 days a week. So that's 70 items a week being added to my inventory. So because of the volume that I have, to pull something out to answer a measurement question, it's just not feasible. I get measurement questions. Well, right now, because I'm not putting measurements in, I get a lot. But even if I was putting measurements in, I would still get a significant amount of questions wanting odd measurements or wanting additional measurements. And I just don't have the time. I'm a one-man show. I don't have any assistance at all. I don't have a virtual assistant. I don't have anyone helping me here in person. I'm doing all of this on my own and have been for a long time. And so I don't have the ability to go up and pull out pieces, measure them, respond to the comments, put them back, and most of the time not sell it, even though I added those additional measurements for someone. So the not answering measurements question is a personal decision that I feel like I will stick to, but I will have a response. I saw someone post on social media a really good response about, I'm not able to provide additional measurements on this item for, there was like a response. I took a picture of what a screenshot of it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to write this to fit my needs, but essentially it's just not possible because of the way that I store the items. I can't pull it out to give you measurements. I have the pre-selected measurements in there, and that's all I can provide at this time. So I am going to be doing that, but I do want to start putting measurements for all my clothing items in the listings. I think it's really important to have the minimum measurements. So for tops and dresses, it would be pit to pit and length. And for jeans, you got your inseam, your rise, and your length, inseam, rise, waist, for jeans and pants. So yeah, I want to put those minimum measurements in. I think it's really important, especially on Poshmark, because they don't let people return for size. A lot of people want those measurements to make sure it's going to fit before they purchase. And I really do think it has affected my sales. I think I'm making less sales because I'm not giving measurements, and some people will not purchase without measurements. It was a decision I had to make based on necessity. I was in crisis mode. I did not have the time that I needed to do all the things that I was needing to do. And so I made the decision that I can still make some sales without measurements. So I'm just going to get what I can and keep putting up as much listings as I can in order to get these sales. And the quality of my listings just went down. So now at this point, I feel like I'm in a much stabler place. I have the time. Even though I'm really busy, I've decided that it's more important for me to have quality listings than quantity on listings, especially because I have so much quantity already. Every single listing that I put up now, I want to be more thought out and more well prepared. So for that reason, I'm going to start putting in measurements. And if I only list 5 things that day because I put that extra time into measurements, I will be okay with that. So that is one of the things that I have done that I feel like really did hurt my business, was not adding measurements. Okay, some of these are a little embarrassing, you guys. It's a little embarrassing, the corners that I cut in order to keep my business going. But I'm being real with myself, and I'm being open and honest, and just letting you guys know, like, sometimes it looks like people can do so much, but you don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. And for me, there was so much turmoil and so much going on in my life that I really had lowered my standards on things that I normally wouldn't. Like, I used to be a perfectionist. Everything had to be clean all the time. Everything had to be perfect. And I had to let all that go. Like, I just couldn't maintain. And so that's kind of what happened with my business as well. So the next thing, again, this is a bit embarrassing, but shoes. I love selling shoes. I absolutely love selling shoes, but I hate cleaning shoes. I hate it. I really don't clean shoes. And so for a while, I was hiring one of my daughters to clean the shoes for me, but she decided she didn't want to do it anymore. So I kind of got in the habit of buying shoes that needed cleaned, but then I was like leaving them in a pile, not listing them because I didn't want to take the time to clean them. And then sometimes I'd be like, I need something to list because I don't have enough stuff here to list. And I would just list dirty shoes, which is so bad. But I would put it in the listing. Obviously, I would take photos and put in the listing, these shoes needed cleaning, but not cleaning them. And I was shopping for my daughter. She needed some new shoes for school. And I was like filtering by like low prices. And so a lot of the shoes I was seeing were really dirty. And I was like, ew, I don't want to buy these. And then it just like clicked. I'm like, why am I selling dirty shoes? Nobody wants dirty shoes. So I have a goal to go through, and I'm doing inventory on the shoes anyways, because I have to allocate them to what shelf they're on so that when I sell them, I know where to look for them. I don't have that right now. I have that with all my clothing, but with my shoes, I don't have a good system. So I've been doing that, and as I'm going through and adding those, the description of where I can find it into the listing, I'm also checking the shoes for cleanliness, and I've been going and cleaning shoes and relisting them with better photos and clean. So that's something I'm going to be more careful about in the future. And in general, I think I'm just going to try not to pick up anything that needs cleaning, because I know myself and I hate cleaning shoes, and I don't have the time for it, really. I really don't. So I have to be realistic about that with myself, that if I bring home a dirty pair of shoes, I might be tempted to list it in the condition that it's in, and I don't want that in my store. So I need to be more honest with myself and tell myself, even though, hey, that is a pair of Nike Dunk lows, and I know that I can sell those and make a great profit, am I going to clean them? No, probably not. So I should leave them and let a reseller who has the time to do that pick them up, or somebody who wants them for themselves, and not burden myself with an item that I don't have the time to properly clean before I list. So that is something I'm working on. I'm really wanting to go through my shoe inventory and make sure that I'm not embarrassed by any of my listings. I want my listings to be something I'm proud of and something that will sell, because that's the goal, and all this should be selling. So, and by the way, I am still making really good sales. It's just I have some things that are sitting around too long, and I really think it's because I'm missing the measurements, the cleanliness thing. So yeah. All right. And then the last thing that I really feel like has affected my business is my listings themselves. So I might put a screenshot in here for you guys of what my listings look like. They are bare bones listings. So essentially what I put on there is a brief like description in the title. and then I copy the description, and that's the first, or the title. I copy the title, and that's the first line in my description. So whatever my title is, I copy paste it into my description. All right, perfect example. I have a pair of shoes right here that need cleaned, by the way, but these were my personal shoes that I'm going to be selling. Anyway, so pair of Asics, right? So I would say Asics, black, peach, colorway, women's size 8. And that would be it. That would be it in my title. And then I would copy paste that to my description, and then I would write, you know, whatever condition is. So I would write, you know, excellent used condition once I clean them. And then I would just have this, I have on my phone, I have the shortcut where I can just put in a couple letters, and then it pops up this description down here where it just says like fast shipper, professional seller, that kind of thing. That's my whole description, you guys. I didn't add any keywords. I don't look up. Well, okay, so this does say Gel Excite 7 right on the side. So I would include that in the title too. But if it didn't say that right on there, I wouldn't. So I was just like going fast as I can with my listings, because most of the time when I'm listing, I'm on my phone listing with my daughter. And so I was really distracted listing and not spending the time to really look up important information about an item, like maybe the style name or whatever, and not adding just like keywords. So like with these shoes, I should be saying like sneakers, running shoes, athletic shoes, like adding all of these different keywords. And I was not taking the time to do that, which again is going to affect my sales, because people can't find an item if they're typing in like looking for a running shoe, and I just write sneaker in the description and it doesn't say running shoe anywhere in there. When they type in running shoe, which is how most people would search for that on Poshmark, my listing wouldn't even come up. So that was really affecting my sales as well, I believe. So these are some of the things that I have really come to realize that I can't skimp on these things anymore. I really need to sit down and take the time to go through my listings, and moving forward, like from here moving forward, all my listings need to be more well executed. My purchasing needs to be more thought out. I need to take the time to do my measurements and all of that moving forward. But I also do plan to go back and fix a lot of listings. But I have also been doing a lot of sales to try to clear some stuff out, because I realized going back and fixing 4,500 listings, not all of them were poor listings, by the way, but a good majority of them. Going back and fixing that number would be very difficult. So I've been doing a lot of sales, trying to clear some things out so I can kind of start from scratch. But moving forward, all of my new listings are going to be better quality. I'm not listing as much, like I mentioned. That 10 a day that I used to do, one of the reasons that I was very firm on making sure I did 10 items every single day, 7 days a week, was because of, you know, hearing over and over again that eBay has this algorithm and you have to have a very standard, that eBay's algorithm was looking for consistency. And if you would keep your consistency every day, you'll get bumped up on their algorithm. The issue with that was I hate selling on eBay. I've realized how much I hate selling on eBay. I'm tired of the scammers. I'm tired of the non-payments. I'm tired of the eBay customer service. I think they're absolutely terrible. I'm tired of all of the little fees that come at you from all these different places. And the sales for me on eBay, even though I was listing, because I would cross list every day. I post first to Poshmark 10 items a day, and then I would cross list those 10 items every single day to Mercari and eBay. And honestly, my Poshmark sales are two to three times higher than my Mercari sales, and my eBay sales were even worse than that. So I finally deleted my eBay store, and now I just have about 200 listings because I don't have a store anymore. So I just do the free listings on there. And mostly that's just my home, like my hard goods items, my home items. So since I'm not on eBay anymore and I'm not feeling this pressure to keep up with their algorithm and keep this constant listing, I have pulled back a little bit on doing the 10 items a day. I'm also running out of storage space, so it just makes sense for me to pull back a little bit and to try to refresh and to increase the quality on my listings so that more of the things that I already have are going to sell and have a better chance of selling. So All right, that was a long video, you guys. So that is what's been going on with my business. I have to be honest, it's super embarrassing that I have cut so many corners and done not as good of a job on my store as I would like to. I'm not as proud of it as I once was, even though I'm still very proud of it. Like, it was a lot of work for me to get this store to where it is now, but I definitely sacrificed some of the quality in order to get to the quantity that I am. And I'm just realizing I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm still making great sales. Like I said, I still have a ton of very, very good listings, a ton of very good quality items. It's just there are some things lurking in there that I'm not proud of, and I'm definitely going to be going through removing some listings altogether for things that I just don't feel like are worth selling, revamping, refreshing, doing all of that. So that's where I am with my business. It's been a bit of an ego deflation, realizing what has really been going on and what I have been allowing to go on. And yeah, I'm just making changes and being more conscious of what I'm doing moving forward with my business. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If there's anything in your business that you feel like you need to change or you need to tweak in any way, leave me those comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to see what you guys are doing to make your businesses better. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.